Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Late Winner Show. Uh, I'm excited and not excited at the same time. We're here to talk about the Chelsea versus United game, which is going to happen on Sunday. I have Ollie and Carlito from the London is Calling podcast. How you guys doing?
We're good. We're good. Yeah, I'm good. What about
Uh, I'm I'm full of curiosity. I'm wondering what you guys are going to say and what you're about. So let's get it going.
Sweet?
Yeah, definitely. Before we do proceed into the discussions, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Late Winner Show. Give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter as well for loads of content that is being posted on our channel. Um, let's begin talking with United. I guess Ollie, we won yesterday 2-0
Yeah.
against Villarreal. I don't think it was a convincing win, and I'm still very terrified on what's to come on Sunday. Chelsea have been like really good. They've been free flowing. They've been really good defensively without even the two attackers that they have in their team, Werner and Lukaku. They've been scoring goals for fun. I think their most goals have been scored by their defensive players. What are you making of this game? Do you think like United really have any chance against Chelsea?
I mean, even before Ollie left and everything, I thought, nah, there's not a chance. And like you said, after watching last night, um, I feel like the only thing I saw that maybe was a bit more positive was the players kind of like had a bit more energy into them in the sense that I feel like they kind of stepped up the game a little bit. I think we saw a bit better of a performance from individuals, whereas the overall how we played and everything like that, I feel like it's no difference to how we'd play like normally. And we've already seen it against the big teams this season, playing against teams like Liverpool and Chelsea, that if United, play like how they've been playing this season, then we're going to get demolished. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like United have a point to prove, like a real point to prove. Like beating Chelsea would, be something top of the league and it'd be a good confident booster for this team. Like we're trying to reach the Champions League spots now. I feel like that's the level we've dropped to. And to be honest, I'm not the most confident. To be honest, I feel like Chelsea, they've, like you said, they've got a bit of class about them, and they're scoring goals for fun. And it's crazy how many goals they get from their defenders too. So they're just a mad threat. Good manager, good team, everything's good. And I feel like it's
Yeah.
very opposite, mirroring almost to United at the moment. Like I feel like it's gonna be tough.
Carlito, I know like you must be really I think you must be really excited about the game as well. Given what United have been doing, I think you are not expecting anything less than a win on Sunday. Uh, Obviously, the two players that got injured yesterday in Juventus's game were Ben Chilwell and N'Golo Kante. How do you think that would affect Chelsea in that game, or do you think that United are still like not really good? We all know that Chelsea can still steam past Chelsea.
Okay,
Sorry,
those
past
are
United.
okay. Well, it's a multifaceted question, and there's a couple layers to it. So I'll get to each and every one of them. But the first thing I'll say is this: I don't do prediction radio. I don't do predictions in general. I actually can't fucking stand it when any pundit or any soccer show, football show, sports show in general does predictions because nobody knows. And I don't care what information sheet you have prior to the game. I don't care who's out. I don't care who's in. Emotional games, rivalry games, everything is out the window. Tactics are out
Hmm.
the window. Predicting who's going to be in form, who's out of form, how they're actually going to play is completely out the window. And this is something that I had an enormous frustration with last season when we were playing Arsenal while also in the midst of a UCL tie with Real Madrid. And everybody's like, oh, this is an Arsenal game. This really doesn't matter. We're going to be fine. Play the kids, play the kids. And I says, if we don't win this game, we are in jeopardy of not getting top four. And everybody thought we were going to roll through Arsenal. Arsenal outclassed us, out-tacticked us, and outbeat us. And the reason being is because some foolish fans take rivalry games with a grain of salt. They don't understand that emotions get the best of even the best professionals. So with
Yeah.
United tomorrow, it does not matter what form they are in. It does not matter what form Chelsea is in. All that matters is that everybody knows that they don't know because they don't. They don't know. As for Chilwell and Conte's always injured, and I'm actually not even a fan. You would be surprised to hear that from a Chelsea fan, but I don't even particularly like N'Golo Kante. I don't think he's that good of a midfielder. I think he just runs and he runs and he smiles a lot. So that's all I think about that with him. Chilwell, huge loss. One of my favorite Chelsea players. I think that he'll be replaced by Callum Hudson-Odoi.
And sorry, I missed that part, but you said you don't like Conte, you said?
Yeah, I don't particularly like him. I don't think he's that good of a player.
Okay. I mean, I think that's the first person that I've seen saying like Conte is not a good player, and being a Chelsea fan. I'm nothing holding against you, but I'm like, this is surprising. Yeah.
I don't get offended at all from anything ever, but I'm just telling you this. Is he a great passer? No. Is his first touch that great? No. Is he good at dictating tempo like Jorginho? No. Okay, all he does is he runs around a lot, sometimes aimlessly, out of position. He tries hard, even though even now trying hard and trying smart are two different things. And then lastly, he smiles a lot because he's likable, because he's humble, but it's almost to the point of patronizing. Like people, when the France teammates, when they scream N'Golo Kante, they're actually kind of making fun of him. And people don't ever really say that, but they are kind of making fun of him because his personality is very quiet and he's just an awkward dude. But no, I don't think he's that good of a player. That great of a loss. And I'm just thinking about this objectively, and a lot of Chelsea fans can't do that, but I can.
Yeah, no, that's a great take on Chelsea and Kante as well. Ollie, you think? I know like Carly already expressed his opinions. Like he doesn't care about all the players that are going to be missing or any predictions that we might want to take. But do you think like Chilwell and Kante's injury might impact something on United? And maybe because I know like I know for a fact like now Chilwell's gone, Alonso's going to take his place. He plays a lot forward and not really good defensively. That's what I feel. Mm-hmm. Do you think that can be exploited? And now, like we know that Ollie's gone, there's going to be some changes. I'm very happy as a United fan that Sancho and Van de Beek might get a lot of chances in the team, which they were not previously. Do you think that can be exploited in any way?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, especially with the players we have, and the way we play, really, we've always played this sort of like counter-attacking football, whether you like it or not. We've always, sat back a little bit more than usual, and we've always looked for the break for quick players like Rashford and Martial and Sancho, etc. I feel like Rashford could definitely get the better of Marcus Alonso. I feel like Rashford's been quite sharp since he's come back from his injury, in my opinion. I feel like he's performed well. Yeah, I feel like with all the players we have, like I feel like normally any game Man United would be playing, the players we have, we could get a result. I feel like a lot of it's just, not gone our way this season at all. And you can blame the manager, but I feel like there was a lot about the players too, in the sense that the players just really haven't been up for it yet. But I'm hoping, new era, new manager, hopefully they'll try and, impress a bit. And I would love it if United did manage to get a new manager before then as well. I feel like it's going to be unlikely. I feel like Carrick will probably be in charge for that one again. And, it's a bit worrying because then again, it leaves all that uncertainty, which, we're in a mid-season crisis really, and we're in a bad position as well in the league. And, it's not great. It's not great in my opinion.
And, hey, Ollie, I wanted to ask you something.
Yeah?
Do you think that Donny van de Beek not playing him was a mistake, or was it justified due to lack of form in training, lack of perceived form on the pitch? Because I just think Ollie didn't see it.
I feel like there's a bit of both in both sides, really. I feel like Van de Beek should have definitely played more football, no matter what, whether he's poor in training or whatever. I feel like there was games, like cup games and Europa League games and games that just didn't mean anything, where he could have easily played 90 minutes. Like there was no injuries on him. He was fit and healthy. Like I don't see why he didn't. I feel like Bruno looked tired at times as well, so it would have been a good rotation. And I feel like that's sort of what killed Ollie's sort of like, reign in the last couple of months, I'd say. I feel like he became a lot more worried about things. I feel like before, when he first came into United, he had no pressure on him, and he kind of just like played everything with how he envisioned it. I feel like he was a lot more confident, a bit more of fresh air. But over the last few months, I feel like he staled down a bit, and he had his favourites, and he kind of didn't want to change stuff. Didn't want to make risks because he'd always use Bruno heavily. He'd always use stuff that he already knew would work, and I feel like it got found out a lot, and it's one of those things. But going back to Van der Beek, I feel like he is a great footballer, but I've noticed it many times when he's played. He's very still like too slow for this sort of league at times, and you see it with a lot of footballers. But I feel like at times he does get caught out, and sometimes he makes the wrong pass. Sometimes he takes too long on the ball, and there's little things with him that don't honestly surprise me that he just didn't play much. You've got Bruno Fernandes, who's a much better footballer. He's probably one of the best players in the world right now, playing in his main focus position, and then McTominay and Fred. Arguably, they're not better than him ability-wise. However, they work a lot more. They're a lot quicker. They're a lot more suited to the Premier League, as a two especially. I feel like if you had someone that can cover Van der Beek a bit more and then have a little bit more protection, it'd be a bit of a different story. But that's what I mean. It's a bit of both. It's like he should have definitely played more, but then again, I see why he hasn't played a lot because I feel like he just doesn't really suit United fully at the moment.
I mean, I think like the thing is that I think when Ollie used to play him, or when Ollie actually bought him, it always felt like he wanted Van der Beek as a replacement to Fernandes, which he isn't. Like, and I still feel like I've been doing these podcasts for a long time, and I keep saying that I don't really trust McTominay and Fred. I still don't. I still think that maybe we do still need a central defensive midfielder. They're not central defensive midfielders. To be very honest, I feel like Van der Beek can definitely acquire one of their positions, and there might be certain formation changes that United might have to do to include Van der Beek into the game. He always thought that Van der Beek is a replacement for Bruno Fernandes. Even yesterday, when Bruno wasn't there and he was playing as a number 10, we saw that Van der Beek couldn't do as much as we thought. Like when we saw that game against Watford, he was the man of the match for me. When he played in that role, so it makes sense. Obviously, like now Ollie's gone and we don't know exactly how Carrick's gonna play. Even though I don't think any change is going to be there, just because the coaching staff still remains the same. It's not that there's nothing changed at United.
Yeah, well, like when we played the teams that would sit back more, I feel like Van der Beek should definitely played more. But then, teams that actually press us, you see it even with Pogba, who's a world-class ability footballer. He's like one of the best. And even Pogba didn't always make that team. He'd get benched instead of Fred and McTominay. And it makes sense, honestly, because Pogba is as much as he is a really good footballer, he's lazy. His ability when it comes to playing quick football, he likes to take his time. He likes to take that extra touch. He likes to show off a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with it. He's a class footballer, but it's just different to a McTominay or Fred who like to get the ball and quickly distribute it, and it's all to do with style of the Premier League. I think in a different league you could definitely get away with playing Van der Beek and Pogba,
I would say McTominay and Fred don't play like Pogba because they don't have what Pogba has, and they are not capable of playing like Fred. Or sorry, both of them are not capable of playing like Pogba. They're not. I personally think Pogba is the number one best center mid in the world, but it depends on circumstance. It depends on locker room, atmosphere, coach, tactics, how he's feeling, everything. And I know that makes him a temperamental footballer, but at the same time, he doesn't play like shit for France. He's excellent for France. So this is United specific.
But that's
slow international football.
Yeah, it's international football, and I think he has like players to support him. I don't think United has the best players to support him around him. Get the best out of him.
I think Deschamps is pretty clear on what he wants from Pogba, and Pogba just does it. With Ollie, your whole issue, and I've spoken to so many United fans because most of my friends are United fans. They're not Chelsea fans. Being a Chelsea fan in the United States is not fashionable. But what they all say, and what I would tell them is, Ollie had no plan. You guys look like a bunch of individuals searching for individual moments. You don't have a style of play. You don't have a plan. You're just PSG, but not as good. And if you don't have a plan and players do not know what they're supposed to individually do within the context of a collective, then you're not going to be as good as if the alternative was there where you did have a plan. And the coach was specific with what he wanted from you and everyone else around you. But since Ollie didn't do that because he's not capable of doing that, Pogba is like, well, shit, I'm just going to be an aimless footballer and I want to look good doing nothing particularly consequential.
What about with Jersey then?
Agreed.
Jersey. What about with Jersey?
Jose Mourinho is one of the best managers of all time, but he's got a style that's a little dated.
I feel like a lot of people do back Pogba and defend him, and I love Pogba. He's a very good footballer.
Me too.
However, I really hope United just do let him go this season.
Yeah.
I feel like
I would probably say the same thing what Carlito said about Kante. Like, I'm not a really big fan of Pogba, and when he came to United, I literally just threw away my phone. I was sitting on the couch. I was like, what the hell? Like, why is he coming to United? Because I really don't like him. I really do not. I don't think he's done anything in the last 5 years to show that he's a really great footballer. To be very honest, he's not done anything at United.
He won the World Cup.
At United, I'm saying at United. I'm not. I don't care about France. I don't care about France.
He won the Europa League. He won the Europa League.
Sure. Yeah. I don't think United is all about winning Europa Leagues. I think
I get
more better trophies. Yeah.
Yeah.
But coming back a little, coming back to the game as well. I just wanted to ask one question to Carlito. Do you think for the last 6 to 7 game weeks, I'd probably say like a month or month and a half, you've not been playing with the two strikers. You've been playing a false nine, just like City. But I think you've been much more better than City, right? Chelsea has been much more better than City playing a false nine. Do you think for this game itself, now that Werner and Lukaku are back, do you think that they still, Tuchel should play Werner or Lukaku up front? Or do you think for this game, just because now you said like all these predictions, everything goes out of the window because it's just an emotional game, it's such a big game, everyone's ready for it. Do you think that he should start with it, or just go with what the formation has been looking for the last 5 to 6 game weeks?
Okay, good questions, but it's a two-part question. So, number one, the reason we were playing without a striker, even though Kai Havertz is kind of a striker, but the reason we were playing without one is simply out of necessity. You know, our two main guys, if you want to play a number 9 or a number 9 and then, a guy hanging off of him, they were both injured. Timo and Lukaku, straight up, and they got injured within 5 minutes of each other in the same game. So for the last a month or so, we've been playing with Kai as striker, and even if he's not scoring, we play better with him as the striker. We just do. And a lot of people that I do my podcast with, we all had reservations about even buying Lukaku. We all love Timo Werner. We do. But with Lukaku, he is such a striker, but not within the sense of running it behind players. He is a hold-up man. He is like a traditional center forward. And when we play with a guy like that, instead of a more fluid front 2 or front 3, it actually does mess with our style of play. It messes with our rhythm, and it messes with the angles of our passes and the precision at which we operate those passes. So we actually don't play as well when we play with Lukaku. But for optics and PR, as well as financial reasons, we're gonna play him regardless. Even if we didn't need him when we bought him for $100 million, we're gonna play him. And on top of that, we're always gonna play Timo if he's healthy. I don't care how many goals he misses. I care about how many times he creates a goal-scoring opportunity with either an assist or a shot. And on top of that, every center back in the world, including the best center back in the world, Ruben Diaz, is absolutely terrified of Timo Werner. So he's always going to play if he's healthy. In my 11, he's always going to play because his runs are unbelievable, his off-ball movement is unbelievable, and he's always a threat. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think it's okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened there. Just keep going on about Timo Werner.
No, it's okay. No, don't worry about it. So, yeah, I do think that it's just going to be Timo, Lukaku, and Hakim Ziyech because Kai Havertz is injured. So he's not going to be playing. So yeah, it'll be Lukaku, Werner, and 𝗲𝗕𝗓 Ziyech for sure.
Okay. And who's better for this season, Lukaku or Werner? I think
Who's
they've
bigger?
had who's better? Who's better for you this season?
Oh, Timo Werner for sure. He's just a better player. He's a better player.
Okay, awesome. I know Carlito doesn't like to do predictions, but Ollie, what's your take for Sunday's game?
Honestly, it's one of the hardest things at the moment to predict Manchester United. Like,
So
it
true.
really is. Like I remember putting a bet down on that Liverpool-Manchester United game. I thought United were gonna, shock the world and get a win. And within 20 minutes, I was regretting my life. Like it was like 4-0, 3-0, crazy. So I feel like United got the balance. I feel like there's a bit more energy about them. I feel like it just depends how ruthless Chelsea are at the moment, and I think they are pretty ruthless. I feel like sometimes you can get past teams with a bit of energy and a bit of change in motion, but I feel like even with how United sacked the manager and there's a bit of fresh air in it, I feel like Chelsea still won't let that play down. They've got too much class about them. I feel like with my heart, I'd say United will nick it somehow and get like a 2-1. But if I'm being honest and talking football sense, I feel like it's going to be like 2-0, 3-1 Chelsea. I feel like we will get a goal. I feel Ronaldo's inevitable. He's getting a lot of goals at the moment. But other than that,
and you literally just took the words out of my mouth. I just don't want another annihilation. I cannot take it anymore.
Yeah.
I've been saying this all week. I cannot take another 4-0, 5-0. If United even score one goal and lose 3-1, I will take that. But I cannot lose. I cannot take another.
It's mental how bad our standards are falling.
Yeah,
fellas, you guys are both underestimating the emotionality of the game. You are underestimating how unpredictable people's consistency is going to be in this game.
Yeah, but that's the thing. United have very lacked in emotion.
I've taken the emotions for the last two games out of the question against City and Liverpool. I sat here on my couch and was like, no, not again. It just felt like that. And I feel like...
but then all of a sudden, Reece James, who's the #1 English player in the world right now, all of a sudden he's going to drop a stinker against you guys. So you never know. These games are wild, man.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree that these games, United have been sacked only. They won against Villarreal. That happened 3 weeks ago, just before the Liverpool game as well. We came back against Atalanta, and I felt like, we're all ready to go, and we all know what happened. One blessing in disguise that I would say is Harry Maguire's out, so I'm really happy about that. Definitely.
Did you hear that 𝗕𝗏 Cech, who's our football director, he actually appealed the FA to get Harry Maguire to be reinstated into the game?
I don't know how true that is. Surely not.
I don't believe that.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man. Wouldn't shock me though. Tactical move.
That's the only good thing about this game, that Harry Maguire's not gonna play. I think he's been shit.
I have to ask you.
He's always good against Chelsea, Maguire.
He is.
Maguire's always good against Chelsea. He always scores.
I have to ask you guys, what is going on with him? Because it's not just that his leadership has been really bad and his form has been really bad. It's his decision making and it's like his attitude. This entire thing in the last 2 months of Harry Maguire has been horrible. And on top of that, just individual decisions like shushing the crowd during an international game when you're talking to the crowd about club football. What in the hell are you doing, dude? What are you doing? They're against Albania?
Exactly. I know Ollie's going to take this, but for a fact, to talk about club games in international football doesn't make sense. That's rude. And to score against Albania and San Marino, two of the worst teams in Europe, to score against them is not. I could do it. Trust me, I could score against San Marino.
I'm not an England fan, so I have to take offense. I agree with you.
Yeah, Ollie.
Yeah, honestly, Maguire, I really rated him, especially at the start of the season. I was like, yeah, I was at Old Trafford watching the game with my dad, and I was like, he just scored a header. I was like, yeah, Maguire's our captain. You know, he's the shit. Like, he's good. But since then, it's gone downhill, and I feel like he's picked up more of an ego than he's ever had, and I feel like it's a bad sort of ego. Like, I feel like he kind of doesn't take criticism well, and like he's a bit too locked in with his emotions. Like, he doesn't want to show the real Harry Maguire. I feel like you see it in press conferences and you see it how he is in general. I feel like subconsciously there's a lot of pressure on him, and I feel like he's not taking it well. And I feel like he just shouldn't really be the captain anymore. I feel like surely when you're in the changing room and you have players like Bruno and Pogba and Ronaldo, surely they just don't take in what he says. Like, surely as a captain, I can't imagine Harry Maguire has the best vocabulary in the world to, you know, get this team going. I feel like, personally for me, I'd captain Ronaldo. I normally don't like captaining players that just come in, but Ronaldo gets this club. He's been here before, and it's Ronaldo. Who's more of a motivator in football? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Personally, I'd put Ronaldo.
You have these pundits that have even thrown out this fishing line question that the issue with your club is Ronaldo, and to that, I'm sorry, I have to laugh because he has pulled you guys out of the fire the last 2 months that I can count on two hands. The guy, in my opinion, he's the best player to have ever played the game, and you know, he is the least of your problems if he's the one saving your ass from dropping serious points in Champions League, in cup games, even in the Premier League. So no, I don't understand why that question was even asked in the first place on, you know, Sky Sports, ESPN UK, what have you.
Yeah, I mean, when you set such high standards, you're always gonna get questions as soon as, you know, something goes wrong, and that's the thing with Ronaldo, Messi, all these players.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say in that regards is I would cut some slack towards Ole in that regards when we signed Ronaldo, because I feel like his plan was never to get Ronaldo. Like how he was playing throughout this 2 years, he was trying to build some foundations, trying to build like a system. But obviously, when we signed Ronaldo, it just threw out everything. You had to build everything around Ronaldo, how to include him in the game, and I think he just because of the lack of experience that he has, I just feel like he got caught out on that. If we hadn't got Ronaldo, I think we would have done much, like a little bit better than what we're doing. I don't think we would have gone on this run where we lost 5 games in the last 7 Premier Leagues. I don't think that would happen, to be very honest. I feel like, but yeah, if you get a player like Ronaldo, you take him. You can't say because or you just trust your gut so much that let him sign for City. I can still deliver something here.
Yeah,
but I think it's just too much of a drama when it started to appear that he might go to City, and it was just too much drama at that time.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I feel like even if United didn't sign Ronaldo this season, I feel like they just wouldn't have been any worse off. Like, I feel like I love Ronaldo and he's a great player. Obviously, he's sick for us, but I feel like we'd have just played a different approach. I feel like we've kind of, like, Ole really had to shift his whole plan and everything to accommodate Ronaldo. So I feel like maybe there was something in that, but good managers can play all their best players. And
well, no, I mean, I think you guys would have played Martial or Rashford, and I don't think either one of them are even as close to as good as Ronaldo. So
Cavani, you can't forget Cavani.
Cavani,
Cavani's great.
I don't think so.
Good. Cavani, I feel like his plan was always to include Cavani and then slowly integrate Greenwood as a striker. That's what his plan was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's all out of the question right now until Ronaldo is up there for the next 1.5 years, I think.
No, it's interesting. Mason Greenwood gets a lot of shit. I don't understand that. A lot of that is from non-United fans. This is probably from Tottenham, City, Chelsea, Liverpool fans. I think Mason Greenwood's really good.
Yeah, he's good.
I think he has moments where he is world-class moments where other players on the field on your team could not produce those moments. Now, sure, consistency is key, but consistency is key in everything: sports, life, love, friendship, everything. But I do think there's a great player in Mason Greenwood.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm glad Chelsea fan on the channel speaking a little bit good things about United. So thanks Carlito for coming onto the channel.
Yeah.
Thanks Ollie for providing your thoughts on the game, Carlito as well.
problem.
Before we do log off, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Late Window Show. Give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter. I've left the links in the description below to Ollie's and Carlito's channels as well. Their Twitter channels, Instagram things as well. Go ahead and give them a listen as well. But guys, all the best for the game on Sunday. Hopefully it's a cracking game. Hopefully what Carlito said, all the shit is out of the question. It's just a game that we enjoy, and Ollie, for us, just not another annihilation. That's all I would say.
Yeah, hopefully 3 points. We need them.
I mean, I would say this: we're gonna kick your ass. See you on the weekend.
All right, thanks guys, and thanks guys, and all the best for the game. Good night.
See ya.
Bye bye.